We've got Captain America Brave New World featuring Falcon cosplaying as Captain America, Anthony Mackie as the new Captain America in Captain America 4. And wow, the past couple of days have been full of controversies surrounding this, haven't they? And there's an article from the Hollywood Reporter today. Captain America Brave New World shows Disney can't escape the culture wars. While the studio desperately tries to avoid politics, the stars of upcoming Captain America movie and Spider-Man TV show are making waves for just barely slipping off message. Now, saying that Captain America shouldn't represent America, I don't know if that's barely. I think 100% it was a terrible thing to fucking say. And we saw the ramification of that. We saw a clarification that wasn't really a clarification or an apology. It was just talking about how Anthony Mackie feels about America, not what he thinks the Captain America should represent. Clearly, PR from Disney probably called him and desperately said, we need to put out a statement and get ahead of this. And Anthony Mackie's like, hey, just so you guys know, I love the troops. I love the troops, guys, just so you know. And everyone's like, no one's talking about that. What are you talking about? You love the troops. But Captain America Brave New World, between the line about the budget that's out there and now a bunch of different people desperately trying to reframe the box office projections, this thing is set to be a massive disaster, and they're going to spin it any way they can, just like we see with all these Marvel movies that come out. But I saw this the other day. Captain America Brave New World current pre-sales are eyeing a $12 million Thursday preview opening, higher than films like Guardians of the Galaxy, Dune Part 2, and Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Jesus.
Now, it's funny that you compare it to Marvel movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America the Winter Soldier, which came out like 8 years ago or something, when we didn't have Thursday previews like we have Thursday previews now. Do you remember when there might have been like a midnight showing or something?
Maybe.
Jeremy? Like,
very rare, yeah.
Counted as previews for those.
Yeah.
Now, Thursday previews start at like 2 o'clock in the fucking afternoon and run all day. So it's a very different story when you're talking about previews from now versus all that time ago. And Dune Part 2 is not a Marvel movie. Dune Part 2 is something that had a lot longer legs. Marvel movies, there's a lot of hype built around them, and people go and watch them on that first weekend. And, might not work out that well. But let's take this, right? It's weird that you say Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America the Winter Soldier. It's weird that you don't say less than films like Black Widow. Black Widow, which came out, made less than $400 million overall. What was its Thursday preview? $13.2 million. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which went on to make $460 million. What was its Thursday preview number? $17.5 million. Yet you have people desperately trying to reframe this as a success, which it's not. It's on pace to make significantly less than Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania did in its opening weekend. And that is not, even with their lying budget, it still wouldn't be profitable at that point.
Well, I mean, a tweet like this is proof that they are, and I know this is just a fan run account or some bullshit like that. So, but narratives like this is a pure act of desperation, because they know that this film is set for disaster right now. So you're basically misrepresenting everything about what it's tracking ahead and everything like that, because to the normie, the average person sees, wow, this is tracking ahead of Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier and Dune. Wow, I've got to go watch this. This sounds like amazing. Oh no, that's the point that they're trying to. Yeah, look, LFG, let's go.
Exactly,
yeah.
It works. It works because people in general, on the whole, are stupid. People are fucking stupid. They just are, right? So the Spooky Queen. When are people going to learn all this talk online is just free advertising for the movie? Like, literally more people are going to watch it because of the chatter online. Did that work for the Marvels? The Marvels was more talked about than anything else. It was the biggest flop they'd ever seen. Did that work for the Acolyte, the dumb cocksucking bitch, Spooky Queen of Halloween? Is this good? At least you're asking. At least you're smart enough to know you're dumb. Wait, it's doing better than previously reported. No, this is actually quite good, as this is just the domestic opening. With a budget of around $180 million, according to THR, the movie will be a success if it makes around $500 million, which the international sales not predicted yet is entirely possible. doing even better than last report. Nice. LFG. We are so back. America wins. It's going to open high. There you go. Disaster. Fourth movie in the franchise. Should get more. Right? So, yes, but there's so much cope about it, but it was a bad week for Captain America and for Anthony Mackie specifically with those comments. There was also another thing out there that he was, and I don't even think this is like, I don't really mind his answer that much, but it's just another thing that gets headlines. And it was asked about, what about the similarities between Red Hulk and President Trump, right? And Anthony Mackie's like, look, I think people are getting way too political over this stuff. It's just a character. We could have made him yellow and everybody would be upset about something. But even that is a headline that a lot of people have kind of latched onto as well. So it is a nightmare for them. And I don't think it's going to do well at the box office.
And they deserve it. And I'm loving every bit of it. So the narrative spin from the media is going to be very interesting with this movie as to how they play on this. I think this movie's coming out at the worst possible time based on where the culture is at, based on how a lot of things are shifting. Anthony Mackie's not doing himself any favors by running his mouth and answering really basic questions in a very, very horrific way. That he could have answered in a much different way.
There are ways to answer that question that still talks about universal values and everything while still being very clear that America is integral to the character of Captain America and the American spirit and the American dream and all of these things. Mm-hmm. There are ways to answer that question even to an international audience that still makes it understand and appeal to them without saying what he said.
Yeah, so this thing it seems like it's a perfect storm for a disaster for them. Like you said, so based on the information we have, Ryan, what do you think this movie needs to make to break even?
Well, so with the $180 million mark, which let's be honest is bullshit. It's not real. That is the cost in all likelihood for the reshoots alone and not the rest of the movie. So let's take them at their word and say 180 million-ish. The marketing for this thing is at a minimum 100 million, probably close to 150 million. So even with just that, if you say that you have, 300 million-ish wrapped up in it, this thing needs to make $600 million to break even, right? People saying, only 500. No, it's not only five. Like, it's around that. We'll see what the international domestic split is. But what we know is the reality is they actually spent over $350 million on this thing from beginning to end. So at that cost, you add in 150 million in marketing, bare minimum $1 billion to break even. Oof. Like, it's not happening. It's not going to hit that number. And I am doubtful if it hits the $550-600 million range that it would require to even break even on their lying standards. Now, it does benefit from a really terrible February in terms of releases. It's not like it's going to have a lot of competition, but I don't know.
Well, it will be fun. So what is it? We're 2 weeks away? About 2 weeks away from the release?
Yeah, almost exactly. Happy Valentine's Day. If you want your girl to break up with you, take her to that movie. So
it will be fun. I can't wait. So I guess the MCU isn't operating on the level that a lot of the mainstream media would like you to believe. So we'll see. What do you think? Do you think 500 million worldwide? Do you think that's the ceiling for it?
4 to 5. I think that's where it ends up. Yeah.
Woof.
I think that's where it ends up. But like I said, it could have a better, run. Like, this February is barren. Look at the releases and it's just trash.
Yeah.
So.